Hello, everybody. Thank you so much to Jane Goodall for joining us today. Before we go to the next session, I want to call your attention to a really powerful installation that you can stop by anytime today. This year, Time and our partners at Felix and Paul Studios are sending VR cameras into space. And a few months from now, we'll produce together the first ever spacewalk in cinematic virtual reality. It's incredibly cool. And we've got a special preview of the project in the back of the room right over there, and I would encourage you to check it out during a break. Now I want to recognize a very special friend of Time, a 2018 Time 100 honoree who is seated somewhere in the audience behind sunglasses. JR, stand up, JR.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thank
you. You've seen JR's work around the world in the foyer here today. He's an artist whose latest work are incredibly powerful murals that bring people together on one canvas from all points of view and all walks of life. And last year, we worked together, an early example of Time 100s and Time doing a project together, and you can see it here on the screen. It was a cover of Time magazine and a mural that we actually sent around the country to spark community conversations on guns in America. And I just wanted you, JR, to talk about what you hope to accomplish with this project and a little bit of what sparked it.
Well, you know, it's a project we couldn't have done one without each other. Why? Because I couldn't have had access to all those people around gun control around the US without you. And you needed a French person to kind of talk to them.
We always
because,
need a French
remember
person.
that in France we know nothing about guns. They're like, we barely have the police owning guns and they don't even use it. So, you know, when I came here and when we started meeting all those people from all, sides of the spectrum, and I live here since 9 years, and I don't understand what is happening in this country. How we're celebrating the 20 years of Columbine and still we hear the same thing on the news. So I was very curious, but also very, naive about the whole situation. And what we did is we went with your team and my team all around the country and met the people who are actually impacted by guns on every side of the spectrum, and really from the NRA to the FBI to the senators that passed the law to the people who had lost someone from their family to the professional shooters to a priest to the Black Lives Matter, the Black Gun Matter. And the first thing I told them is that I was French, that I knew nothing about it, but also that I wanted to hear really what they had to say. And how can we bring people around the same table if we can't do it physically, because a lot of those people don't even want to meet because they, say that the other side is not sharing their point of view, so why would they even meet? I remember we even had trouble bringing those people around the table, and one of the reasons they came is we told them they will be on the cover of Time. Right. So sometimes the ego can play a bit to get people that wouldn't get there.
A lot of them brought guns with them, which posed an interesting security challenge.
Also, they all brought guns with them, a lot of them. But what was interesting there is what we did is we created that debate virtually, and artistically it is possible. And what you see here is every single person came, but one by one. In the same studio, in different studios we got around the US. Now, what was interesting there is we gave them a mic that they could speak to and record exactly what they wanted to record. So if they want to speak for 1 minute, or if they want to speak for 30 minutes, we would record that. Now, when you look at that cover, you could, with an app we made, and we made for free, and on the back of the cover, you click, or through the website that Time put together also, you click on any person and you hear his story, exactly as he recorded it. And inside the magazine, then you selected a few people and you interviewed them. But what I mean is that on the cover, it's a complete non-journalistic point of view. It's everybody expressed their point of view.
So you've done murals like this. You with Israel and Palestine at the border with Mexico, Paris, I think, was your first. What do you learn? What was different, if anything, about bringing these people together versus other murals you've done, or what surprised you in these interactions?
What we underestimate in the power of murals is that, it's in the street, it's in the outdoor. It touches people where they're not necessarily walking to a museum to go and see the art. And one thing we did in all those places, in Israel, Palestine, in the projects of Paris where I started, is I realized it reconnected people that would not necessarily speak to each other. And that's what we did with this mural, is right after the magazine came out, we went all across the US and presented this mural, as you'll see it on the back screen there, as a video installation, because actually the whole mural is video. So you can look on the wall behind you over there, everyone is actually moving. It's not a photo. Every single person is on their own loop. So people came to see themselves at the museum. And what happened? It's very simple. Imagine you do that in Dallas. You do an opening, you put a few bottles, you say it's an opening tonight, come see yourself. So of course the mayor is going to come, but also, the few people that are in the mural that are come from the city, from each side of the mural are coming. And what happened? They end up being in the same room. They end up being part of the same piece. And what do you do first when you get, and you're in the mural and you see that the person you hate is there in the mural and is also there? You're going to listen to his story and say what he has to say. And then realize what is his story, what is his background, where he's coming from, that actually you can have someone who's pro-gun but also lost a child from gun violence, that suddenly the story becomes much more complicated than you think. And one thing I have to say I had never planned and still amazed me is how many of those people did connect, did talk to each other. And that's why I think that, and you did it when we did the first premiering of that piece in New York, you ask two people that were complete opposite to write a piece together. And I really do think, seeing how simple it is sometimes to reconnect people, just because you create a platform where they can listen to each other and listen to, realize that they're not that far from each other. And I think that's where time can play an amazing role into, finding a solution or recreating a debate in
and
that.
And art can play an amazing role. I mean, one of our themes today, Gail King says it in one of the videos, interstitials, that we've got to listen to each other. And I'm going to ask Hillary Clinton in a minute too, among other things, about how we communicate, how we get past these divides. And what was so powerful for me and the Time team was the way your art accomplishes what we seem to have so much of a struggle with in the broader society. And also, I have to say, played into a great tradition of artists in Time's history. Lichtenstein did covers, Warhol did covers, and we're excited for your next one.
Thank you.
If anybody has a suggestion.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, JR.